In the vast tapestry of the Warhammer 40,000 universe, few civilizations possess a mythology as rich and tragic as that of the Aeldari. Their legends speak of an empire that once spanned the stars, where mortality was a distant concern and reality itself bent to their whims. Their history tells of gods who walked among mortals, of paradise worlds that defied imagination, and of a fall so catastrophic it forever scarred the fabric of space and time. The Aeldari mythology serves not merely as a collection of ancient stories, but as a haunting reminder of their species' greatest triumph and most devastating failure. Before the rise of humanity, before the Great Crusade, and long before the Imperium of Man, the Aeldari ruled the galaxy in a golden age that lasted millions of years. Their mastery of science and psychic arts was so complete that it blurred the line between technology and sorcery, allowing them to reshape worlds and create life itself. At the heart of Aeldari mythology lies the pantheon of their gods, beings of immense power who both embodied and shaped the collective psychic consciousness of their race. Asurion, the Phoenix King, stood as their supreme deity, while Coin, the bloody-handed god, represented their martial prowess. Isha, the mother goddess, nurtured life and healing, while Vol, the great smith, gifted them with artifacts of incredible power. These weren't merely abstract concepts, but real entities, forged from the psychic might of an entire species. The relationship between the Aeldari and their gods was unique among all civilizations. Their deities weren't distant figures to be worshipped from afar, but active participants in the species' development. The myths tell of gods walking among their people, teaching them the arts of creation and destruction, of love and war. This intimate connection between the divine and mortal realms shaped every aspect of Aeldari society, from their intricate art to their sophisticated technology. Yet beneath the surface of these glorious tales lies a darker narrative, one of pride, excess, and inevitable downfall. The Aeldari mythology doesn't shy away from the consequences of unchecked power. Their legends speak of the war in heaven, where their gods fought alongside them against the Necrons and their Khitan masters. They tell of ancient pacts, betrayals, and sacrifices that would echo through millennia. The mythological traditions of the Aeldari serve multiple purposes. They are historical records, cautionary tales, and prophecies all woven into one. Each story, each legend, contains layers of meaning that resonate differently with various Aeldari factions. The strict path system of the craft worlds, the hedonistic excesses of the Drukhari, and the death worship of the Harlequins all find their roots in these ancient myths. Most crucial to understanding Aeldari mythology is recognizing its living, evolving nature. Unlike the static religions of younger races, their myths continue to unfold in real time. The birth of Ennead, the god of the dead, represents a new chapter in their divine narrative, one being written even now as the Aeldari fight for survival in a hostile universe. This dynamic aspect of their mythology sets it apart from mere historical records or religious texts. The weight of this mythological heritage bears heavily on every Aeldari. They live in the shadow of their ancestors' greatness and hubris, knowing that their every action ripples through the warp, potentially affecting the fate of their entire species. Each major faction interprets these myths differently, leading to radically different approaches to existence, yet all are bound by the inescapable truth of their shared past. The Aeldari myths also serve as a grim warning to other races. They demonstrate how even the most advanced civilization can fall prey to its own success, how godlike power can lead to catastrophic downfall. In the grim darkness of the far future, where ancient powers stir and new threats emerge constantly, the Aeldari mythology remains relevant not just to its originators, but to all who seek to understand the true nature of power and its corrupting influence. As we delve deeper into the complexities of Aeldari mythology, we uncover a narrative that transcends simple stories of gods and heroes. It is a living, breathing chronicle of a species' journey from supremacy to survival, from mastery to desperate preservation. Their myths echo through time, teaching lessons that become increasingly relevant as the galaxy faces new threats and ancient powers reawaken. The pantheon of Aeldari gods reflects the complexity and sophistication of their civilization, each deity embodying fundamental aspects of their society and psyche. Beyond the gods themselves, a vast cast of mythological figures, heroes, and entities populate their ancient legends, creating an intricate web of relationships and conflicts that continue to influence Aeldari culture. Zagorak, the laughing god, stands apart from his divine brethren through his legendary cunning. Known as the Great Harlequin, he alone among the original pantheon survived the fall with his essence intact, having reportedly tricked Slaanesh at the moment of its birth. His followers, the enigmatic Harlequins, preserve the Aeldari's cultural heritage through elaborate performances that blend art, history, and prophecy. Within the labyrinthine corridors of the Black Library, Zagorak continues his eternal dance, weaving schemes that span millennia. The tale of Eldanesh and Ulthanash represents another crucial aspect of Aeldari mythology. These legendary heroes embody different approaches to power and responsibility, their conflict shaping the future of their race. Eldanesh, champion of independence and self-reliance, faced Cain in single combat rather than submit to divine rule. Though he fell beneath the war god's blade, his sacrifice became a powerful symbol of Aeldari determination and pride. Ulthanash, advocating cooperation with the gods, established traditions of divine reverence that would influence Aeldari religion for millions of years. Lilith, the maiden goddess, personified the future and fate itself. Her prophecies, stored in rune-wrought crystals, continue to guide seers and farseers in their attempts to navigate the treacherous currents of destiny. The pools of Lilith, mythical wells of prophetic power, feature prominently in tales of heroes seeking knowledge of times yet to come. Her connection to both fate and youth made her particularly cherished among the Aeldari, who saw in her the promise of eternal renewal. The avatar of Cain, a fragment of the shattered war god's essence, represents one of the most tangible links between the Aeldari and their ancient pantheon. Each craft world maintains a shrine where this fragment, known as a young king, can be awakened in times of dire need. The ritual of awakening, requiring the sacrifice of an Aeldari warrior who briefly embodies Cain's power before being consumed by it, demonstrates the terrible price of divine intervention in the material realm. Morai Heg, the crone goddess of fate and souls, holds a unique position in Aeldari mythology. According to legend, she tricked Cain into cutting off her hand, allowing her to drink her own blood and gain infinite knowledge. The symbolic importance of this tale resonates through Aeldari culture, particularly in the practice of seer priests consuming psychoactive substances to enhance their prophetic abilities. The Void Dragon, while not strictly part of the Aeldari pantheon, features prominently in their mythological narratives. Ancient tales speak of encounters between Aeldari gods and this mysterious Satan, highlighting the complex relationship between different species mythologies in the galaxy. Some legends suggest that Vol himself forged weapons specifically to combat this entity, though the truth remains shrouded in mystery. Aenead's emergence as a new deity represents an unprecedented addition to the Aeldari pantheon. Born from the collective souls of dead Aeldari, this god of the dead offers hope of resurrection and renewal to a dying race. The prophecies surrounding Aenead's awakening have spawned new mythological narratives, demonstrating how Aeldari mythology continues to evolve even in the 41st millennium. The shadow in the warp, while not a conscious entity, plays a significant role in modern Aeldari mythology. This phenomenon, associated with Tyranid hive fleets, represents a different kind of existential threat to their psychically attuned civilization. Stories of encounters with this eternal hunger have begun to weave themselves into the fabric of Aeldari mythology, creating new cautionary tales for future generations. Among the mythological figures, the Phoenix Lords hold a unique position between gods and mortals. These first and greatest champions of the warrior aspects embody perfect mastery of their respective combat disciplines. Asurmen, the Hand of Asurian, stands foremost among them, having established the path system that helps modern Aeldari control their destructive impulses. Each Phoenix Lord has died countless times, only to be reborn when another warrior dons their legendary armor, creating a complex mythology of death and rebirth. The solitaire, most enigmatic of the Harlequins, play the role of Slanesh in ritual performances. Their unique ability to resist chaos despite walking the edge of damnation has earned them a special place in contemporary Aeldari mythology. These individuals, whose souls are already claimed by She Who Thirsts, represent both the depths of sacrifice possible in service to their race and the terrible price of their ancestral hubris. Through these central figures, Aeldari mythology weaves a tapestry of power, pride, sacrifice, and redemption. Each character and entity contributes unique threads to this narrative, creating patterns that continue to influence Aeldari society. Their interactions, conflicts, and alliances form the foundation of a living mythological tradition that adapts to new challenges while preserving ancient wisdom. Long before the first human civilizations emerged from their cradles of stone and bronze, the foundations of Aeldari mythology were being laid in the crucible of cosmic conflict. The war in heaven marked the beginning of their mythological tradition, as the Old Ones uplifted the Aeldari and other races to serve as weapons against the Necrontyre and their Shaitan masters. This profound period of creation and warfare would shape their understanding of existence itself. The psychic awakening of the Aeldari race proved instrumental in forming their mythological framework. Unlike other species created by the Old Ones, the Aeldari possessed an unprecedented connection to the Sea of Souls, allowing them to perceive and interact with the fundamental forces of the universe. This heightened awareness led to the development of complex philosophical and religious systems that would eventually crystallize into their pantheon. Environmental factors played a crucial role in shaping Aeldari myths. Their first worlds, carefully crafted by the Old Ones, were paradise planets of extraordinary beauty and harmony. These perfect environments fostered a deep appreciation for aesthetic excellence and cosmic order, themes that would become central to their mythological narratives. The stark contrast between these idyllic worlds and the chaos of the war in heaven created a dualistic perspective that permeates their oldest stories. The development of Aeldari language contributed significantly to their mythological tradition. Their sophisticated communication system, capable of conveying multiple layers of meaning simultaneously, allowed for the creation of stories that functioned on numerous levels. A single mythological tale could serve as historical record, philosophical treatise, and prophecy all at once, creating a rich tapestry of interconnected meanings. Technological advancement paradoxically strengthened rather than diminished Aeldari mythology. As their mastery over the material universe grew, so too did their understanding of its underlying metaphysical nature. The development of the webway, in particular, influenced their cosmological views, introducing concepts of hidden dimensions and parallel realities that became integral to their mythological framework. Social structures within early Aeldari society reinforced their mythological traditions. The emergence of specialized classes of seers, artists, and warriors led to different interpretations and expressions of their foundational myths. Each group added their own perspective to the growing body of legends, creating a dynamic and evolving mythological tradition that reflected the complexity of their civilization. The role of time itself proved crucial in shaping Aeldari mythology. Their extraordinary lifespans allowed for the accumulation of vast personal experience, while their advanced technology and psychic abilities gave them unique perspectives on temporal flow. This deep understanding of time's malleability influenced their myths, which often dealt with cycles of creation, destruction, and rebirth spanning millions of years. The influence of other species, both allied and antagonistic, contributed to the development of Aeldari mythology. Encounters with various races during the War in Heaven provided new perspectives and challenges that were incorporated into their growing mythological framework. The eternal enmity with the Necrons in particular became a recurring theme in their oldest legends. Geographic expansion across the galaxy exposed the Aeldari to diverse phenomena and experiences that enriched their mythological tradition. Each new world they encountered, each stellar phenomenon they witnessed, added layers to their understanding of the universe and their place within it. These experiences were woven into their existing myths or spawned new legends that explained and contextualized their discoveries. The development of their psychic technology created a unique intersection between myth and reality. As the Aeldari learned to manipulate the fundamental forces of the universe through their wraithbone constructs and other psycho-reactive materials, the line between technological achievement and mythological power became increasingly blurred. Many of their greatest technological works were conceived as physical manifestations of mythological principles. Cultural exchanges among different Aeldari societies contributed to the richness of their mythology. As their civilization spread across the stars, various groups developed distinct interpretations of their shared mythological heritage. These differences led to philosophical debates and artistic innovations that further enhanced the complexity of their legendary traditions. The relative peace and prosperity following the War in Heaven allowed for extensive cultural development. Free from the immediate pressures of survival, Aeldari society could devote enormous resources to artistic and philosophical pursuits. This period of reflection and creation saw the refinement of their mythological traditions into the sophisticated system that would define their civilization for millions of years. The early manifestations of chaos, though not yet fully understood, influenced the development of Aeldari mythology. Their psychic sensitivity allowed them to perceive disturbances in the warp long before these forces became widely known. These experiences shaped their understanding of the universe's underlying dangers and influenced the protective aspects of their mythological traditions. The establishment of the first craft worlds marked another crucial development in their mythological evolution. These massive vessels, each a world unto itself, became living repositories of Aeldari culture and tradition. The unique challenges of life aboard these spacefaring cities influenced how their inhabitants interpreted and transmitted their mythological heritage, adding new dimensions to ancient stories. The chronological development of Aeldari mythology unfolds across vast epochs, each marked by transformative events that shaped their cultural consciousness. During the Age of Dawn, the first mythological narratives emerged as the species gained awareness of their extraordinary psychic potential. Early myths focused on the relationship between the Aeldari and the cosmic forces they were beginning to comprehend, with particular emphasis on the manipulation of reality through force of will. The time of awakening brought forth more sophisticated mythological constructs. As the Aeldari developed their psychic abilities, they began perceiving entities that would later be recognized as their gods. These beings, manifestations of the collective psychic energy of the race, initially appeared as abstract concepts before gradually assuming more defined personalities and characteristics. The crystallization of these divine identities marked a crucial phase in their mythological evolution. During the era of flesh sculpting, Aeldari myths began incorporating themes of transformation and transcendence. Their mastery over physical form led to stories of metamorphosis and rebirth, with legendary figures changing shape at will to overcome challenges or achieve enlightenment. These tales would later influence the development of various warrior aspects and their associated mythologies. The Golden Age of technology saw the integration of scientific achievement with mythological narrative. Aeldari artisans created artifacts that bridged the gap between material and spiritual realms, each imbued with properties that reflected aspects of their divine pantheon. The forging of the first infinity circuits marked a particularly significant moment, as it demonstrated their ability to preserve souls beyond death. Throughout the period of discovery, as the Aeldari explored the galaxy's furthest reaches, new mythological elements emerged from encounters with phenomena beyond their previous experience. Tales of void-dwelling entities and cosmic forces enriched their mythological framework, while interactions with other species led to the incorporation of foreign concepts into their own legendary traditions. The Season of Shadows marked a darker turn in Aeldari mythology. As their civilization reached its apex, prophetic voices began warning of impending doom. New myths arose concerning the price of power and the consequences of unchecked desire. The first stories of Slaanesha's gestation, though not yet understood as such, appeared in symbolic form through dreams and visions. During the Age of Excess, Aeldari mythology underwent significant reinterpretation. Traditional tales of restraint and wisdom were subverted or dismissed, while myths celebrating pleasure and sensation gained prominence. The pleasure cults developed their own mythological traditions, perverting ancient stories to justify their increasingly extreme practices. The Time of Ending saw the emergence of apocalyptic themes in Aeldari mythology. As their civilization teetered on the brink of catastrophe, new prophetic traditions arose, speaking of inevitable doom and potential salvation. The mythology of the Harlequins gained particular significance during this period, as they alone seemed to grasp the full magnitude of what was to come. In the aftermath of the Fall, surviving Aeldari communities developed divergent mythological traditions. The craft worlds preserved and reinterpreted ancient myths through the lens of asceticism and discipline, while the Dark Eldar created twisted parodies of old legends to justify their predatory existence. The Exodites embraced mythological elements that emphasized harmony with nature and rejection of excess. The Age of the Third Path witnessed the rise of new mythological narratives centered around redemption and renewal. The prophecies of Aeneid's awakening inspired fresh interpretations of ancient myths, while the actions of various Phoenix Lords added new chapters to the legendary corpus. The increasing threat of chaos led to the development of protective mythological traditions designed to shield Aeldari souls from corruption. During the Time of Ending, the mythology of the Infinity Circuits gained prominence. These vast psychic repositories became central to new stories of existence beyond death and the preservation of ancestral wisdom. The development of Wraithbone technology added another dimension to these narratives, as the material itself seemed to embody mythological principles. The period of revelation brought forth previously hidden aspects of Aeldari mythology. Ancient prophecies began manifesting in unexpected ways, while long-forgotten legends proved to have deeper significance than previously understood. The awakening of various Crone's words added new layers to existing mythological narratives about divine weapons and their role in racial destiny. Throughout the Time of Twilight, as the Aeldari race faced mounting threats from all sides, their mythology adapted to address new challenges. Stories of survival against impossible odds gained prominence, while ancient tales of triumph were re-examined for hidden wisdom that might ensure the species' continuation. The Age of Resurgence saw the emergence of syncretic mythological traditions as different Aeldari factions began cooperating more closely. The rise of Inari culture led to new interpretations of death-related myths, while the increasing prominence of Harlequin performances helped preserve and transmit critical aspects of their shared cultural heritage. This chronological progression demonstrates the dynamic nature of Aeldari mythology, revealing how it continuously evolved to reflect the changing circumstances of their civilization. Each period contributed unique elements to their mythological tradition, creating a rich tapestry of interconnected narratives that continue to influence Aeldari society in the present era. The murder of Eldanesh by Cain represents the most significant turning point in Aeldari mythology, fundamentally altering the relationship between gods and mortals. This momentous event, known as the Curse of Cain, marked the first time a god deliberately slew a mortal champion, shattering the implicit trust between divine and secular realms. The blood that stained Cain's hands would never wash away, becoming a permanent reminder of this transgression etched into the fabric of their mythological narrative. The significance of this pivotal moment extends beyond the immediate consequences of Eldanesh's death. The curse manifested as a physical transformation of Cain's hands, forever stained crimson with the blood of his victim. This visible reminder served as a permanent warning about the dangers of unchecked divine power and the price of challenging the established order. The event sparked a philosophical revolution among the Aeldari, leading to new interpretations of their relationship with divine beings. Following this watershed moment, the nature of worship and divine interaction underwent a profound transformation. The Aeldari began developing more formalized structures for communicating with their gods, establishing ritual boundaries that hadn't previously existed. The emergence of specialized priest classes and specific worship protocols can be traced directly to this pivotal event, as the species sought to prevent future divine transgressions. The psychological impact reverberated through Aeldari society, influencing art, literature, and spiritual practices. Craftworkers began incorporating symbolic representations of Cain's bloodied hands into their creations, while poets composed epic cycles exploring the complex motivations behind the god's actions. This artistic response helped process the collective trauma and integrate it into their cultural consciousness. The event catalyzed the development of the aspect warrior system. The spilling of Eldanesh's blood created a template for channeling martial prowess through specific aspects of Cain's personality, rather than embracing the god's unrestrained nature. Each warrior aspect represents a controlled expression of combat excellence, ensuring that military might serves a purpose beyond mere violence. This turning point also influenced the evolution of Aeldari prophetic traditions. Seers began paying particular attention to omens involving divine intervention, developing new divinatory techniques specifically designed to anticipate potential conflicts between gods and mortals. The practice of reading the threads of fate gained additional layers of complexity as practitioners sought to prevent similar tragedies. The spiritual repercussions extended to the realm of soul preservation. The violent severing of Eldanesh's spirit from his body led to new understandings about the nature of death and the importance of protecting Aeldari souls. This knowledge would later prove crucial in the development of infinity circuits and other psychic technologies designed to safeguard their immortal essence. The diplomatic ramifications among the gods themselves proved equally significant. The Pantheon's reaction to Cain's actions established new precedents for divine behavior and responsibility. Other deities began exercising greater caution in their dealings with mortals, leading to more nuanced and complex relationships between the divine and secular spheres. This watershed moment influenced the development of Aeldari judicial systems. The concept of divine judgment became more carefully regulated, with complex protocols established to govern interactions between different levels of authority. The incident served as a foundation for legal traditions that would persist throughout their civilization's history. The transformation of ritual practice following this event cannot be overstated. New ceremonies emerged specifically designed to commemorate Eldanesh's sacrifice while simultaneously acknowledging the dangerous potential inherent in divine power. These rituals served both as historical remembrance and cautionary teachings for future generations. The architectural impact manifested in the design of temples and shrines. Spaces dedicated to divine worship began incorporating symbolic barriers and transitional zones, physically representing the new boundaries between mortal and divine realms. These architectural innovations reflected the profound philosophical changes triggered by the initial event. The establishment of new mythological hierarchies followed, with clearer delineations between different levels of divine authority and mortal agency. This reorganization helped prevent future conflicts by establishing clear protocols for interaction between different spheres of influence. The systematic codification of these relationships became a cornerstone of Aeldari religious practice. This turning point also influenced the development of protective traditions designed to shield mortals from divine wrath. New forms of psychic shielding emerged, along with ritualized methods for appeasing or redirecting divine anger. These practices became deeply embedded in Aeldari culture, forming an essential part of their spiritual defense mechanisms. The event's impact on military doctrine proved equally profound. The Aeldari began developing more sophisticated approaches to warfare that balanced martial prowess with spiritual awareness. This integration of physical and metaphysical combat techniques would define their military traditions for millennia to come. The reverberations of this pivotal moment continue to influence Aeldari society in the present era. Each major faction interprets the event differently, finding in it justification for their particular approach to existence. The Curse of Caney serves as both warning and guidance, a complex legacy that shapes their understanding of power, responsibility, and the price of defiance. The reverberations of Aeldari mythological beliefs echo through every aspect of their fragmented civilization, fundamentally shaping how surviving populations navigate their existence in the hostile universe of the 41st millennium. The path system, implemented by surviving craft worlds, represents a direct response to the cautionary tales embedded within their mythological traditions. This structured approach to life provides psychological safeguards against the excesses that once dominated their culture. The manifestation of mythological principles in Aeldari warfare has resulted in highly ritualized combat doctrines. Each warrior aspect shrine maintains its own interpretation of ancient legends, incorporating specific elements into their training regimens and battle techniques. These martial traditions extend beyond mere combat effectiveness, serving as spiritual disciplines that help practitioners understand and embody different facets of their mythological heritage. Architectural designs throughout Aeldari society reflect deep mythological influences. Craft world spires echo patterns said to channel cosmic energies, while wraithbone structures incorporate symbolic elements from ancient tales. These construction principles extend to military vessels and weapons, with each curve and angle supposedly aligned with forces described in their oldest legends. The preservation of souls within infinity circuits demonstrates a practical application of mythological concepts. These vast psychic repositories represent a physical manifestation of ancient beliefs about life after death, allowing the essence of departed Aeldari to continue contributing to their society. The interaction between living Aeldari and these ancestral spirits follows protocols established through millennia of mythological tradition. Cross-cultural interactions between different Aeldari factions reveal diverse interpretations of shared mythological heritage. Harlequin performances serve as a unifying force, presenting canonical versions of ancient tales that resonate with all branches of their species. These elaborate productions help maintain cultural continuity despite physical and ideological separation. The development of psychic technology continues to be influenced by mythological principles. Bone-zinging techniques incorporate elements from creation myths, while wraith construct designs often reference legendary entities or events. This integration of mystical and technological elements produces devices that operate on both physical and metaphysical levels. Political structures within Aeldari society reflect hierarchies described in their mythology. Craft world councils derive authority from ancient precedents, while the organization of warrior aspects mirrors divine relationships described in legendary accounts. These governmental systems help maintain order by providing historically validated frameworks for decision-making. The influence of Aeldari mythology extends beyond their own species, affecting how other races perceive and interact with them. Imperial scholars study their legends for strategic insights, while other ancient races recognize mythological references in Aeldari diplomatic protocols. This external impact demonstrates the practical significance of their mythological traditions in galactic affairs. Agricultural practices among exodite communities incorporate elements from fertility myths and tales of planetary stewardship. These methodologies prove remarkably effective, producing sustainable ecosystems that support Aeldari colonies while maintaining harmony with indigenous life forms. The success of these techniques validates the practical wisdom embedded within their mythological traditions. Artistic expressions throughout Aeldari society continue to draw inspiration from mythological sources. Creative works serve multiple functions, simultaneously preserving historical knowledge, conveying philosophical insights, and maintaining cultural continuity. The sophisticated symbolism employed in these creations requires extensive study to fully comprehend. Medical practices reflect mythological understanding of body-spirit relationships. Healers combine practical techniques with ritualistic elements derived from ancient tales, producing treatment protocols that address both physical and metaphysical ailments. This holistic approach demonstrates the ongoing relevance of mythological wisdom in maintaining Aeldari health. Educational systems structured around mythological frameworks ensure comprehensive knowledge transmission between generations. Young Aeldari learn through stories that simultaneously convey historical facts, moral lessons, and practical skills. This integrated approach to learning helps maintain cultural continuity while preparing new generations for the challenges they face. The impact on psychic disciplines has been particularly profound. Farseer techniques incorporate elements from prophetic traditions, while warlocks draw upon tales of ancient battles in developing combat abilities. These practices demonstrate how mythological knowledge continues to inform the development of psychic capabilities. Trade relationships between different Aeldari groups often reference mythological precedents. Commercial protocols follow patterns established in ancient tales, while economic agreements incorporate traditional elements that help maintain trust between parties. These practices demonstrate how mythological principles continue to facilitate practical cooperation. The influence on genetic science reveals sophisticated understanding of hereditary principles. Breeding programs among some populations reference mythological guidelines about maintaining bloodline purity, while genetic engineering projects incorporate elements from creation myths. These practices demonstrate the practical application of ancient wisdom in maintaining population health. The technological manifestations of Aeldari mythology extend far beyond simple religious symbolism, incorporating sophisticated principles that bridge the gap between science and spirituality. Wraithbone technology represents the pinnacle of this fusion, serving as a psychoconductive material that responds to mythological resonances within the Aeldari psyche. Master Bonesingers shape this living material through songs derived from ancient creation myths, each melody carrying encoded information about form and function. Spirit stones embody another crucial intersection of mythology and technology. These sophisticated devices incorporate crystalline structures that reflect patterns described in legends about soul preservation. The process of creating these stones involves complex ritualistic procedures that align technological precision with mythological significance, resulting in artifacts capable of safeguarding Aeldari spirits from predatory warp entities. The webway itself represents a technological achievement deeply rooted in mythological principles. Its labyrinthine passages follow patterns described in ancient tales about hidden paths between worlds. The construction techniques used to create and maintain these interdimensional corridors incorporate elements from legends about cosmic architecture and divine engineering. Each gateway bears inscriptions that reference specific mythological events or entities. Aspect warrior armor incorporates technological systems that respond to specific mythological resonances. Each suit contains sophisticated neural interfaces that help the wearer embody particular aspects of their chosen deity. The design elements reference legendary attributes while serving practical combat functions, creating a seamless blend of spiritual significance and battlefield utility. Holofields represent another technological application of mythological principles. These sophisticated devices generate illusions based on patterns described in ancient tales about light and perception. The mathematical algorithms controlling these fields incorporate ratios and sequences derived from mythological sources, resulting in defensive systems that confound enemy targeting while maintaining aesthetic harmony. The infinity circuit technology demonstrates profound understanding of soul mechanics described in Aeldari myths. These vast psychic networks incorporate architectural elements that reference legendary descriptions of the afterlife. The interaction protocols between living Aeldari and ancestral spirits follow patterns established in ancient tales about communion with the dead. Eldar vehicles exhibit design philosophies that merge technological sophistication with mythological symbolism. Grav tanks incorporate propulsion systems that reference legends about divine movement through space, while weapon configurations follow patterns described in tales of cosmic warfare. Each vessel serves as both practical transport and mobile shrine to specific aspects of their mythology. Psychic amplification technology demonstrates sophisticated application of principles described in legends about divine communication. Rune-enhanced devices incorporate symbolic elements that facilitate connection with the warp while maintaining protective boundaries. These systems enable powerful psychic abilities while helping prevent dangerous spiritual contamination. Craftworld environmental systems incorporate mythologically derived principles about ecological balance. Life support technologies reference ancient tales about world spirits and planetary harmonics, creating self-sustaining ecosystems that support massive populations. These systems demonstrate practical application of wisdom preserved through mythological traditions. Weapons technology among the Aeldari reflects deep integration of mythological principles. D-weapons incorporate concepts from tales about reality manipulation, while shuriken catapults reference legends about divine precision. Each armament category demonstrates sophisticated understanding of how spiritual resonance can enhance combat effectiveness. Time manipulation devices represent particularly advanced applications of mythological knowledge. These sophisticated systems incorporate principles from legends about fate and causality, enabling limited temporal manipulation while maintaining cosmic balance. The operational protocols follow patterns established in ancient tales about proper use of such powers. Communication technology among Aeldari populations incorporates elements from myths about telepathic communion. These systems facilitate faster-than-light information exchange while maintaining spiritual harmony through reference to traditional principles. The encoding protocols incorporate symbolic elements that help prevent interception or corruption of transmitted data. Medical technology demonstrates sophisticated integration of mythological wisdom about body-spirit relationships. Healing devices incorporate elements from tales about divine restoration, while diagnostic systems reference legends about spiritual ailments. These technologies enable comprehensive treatment approaches that address both physical and metaphysical health concerns. Portal technology used by various Aeldari factions incorporates principles from myths about spatial relationships. These sophisticated systems enable rapid transportation while maintaining spiritual protection through reference to traditional safeguards. The activation sequences follow patterns described in legends about safe passage between realms. Manufacturing processes among Aeldari populations demonstrate deep understanding of creation myths. Production facilities incorporate elements from tales about divine crafting, while quality control systems reference legends about perfect forms. These technologies enable creation of sophisticated items while maintaining spiritual harmony throughout the manufacturing process. Within the annals of Aeldari mythology, Aeldari stands as a legendary figure whose tale embodies the complex relationship between mortals and divine beings. A master shapeshifter who learned secrets from the stars themselves, Aeldari challenged conventional boundaries between physical and spiritual realms. Their exploits, chronicled in the Crystal Songs, demonstrate extraordinary feats of both martial prowess and mystical insight, culminating in a transformation that transcended traditional limitations of form and consciousness. The enigmatic Salandri Veilwalker represents a unique hybrid of historical and mythological significance. Operating from within the webway's labyrinthine passages, this mysterious figure orchestrates events that span millennia. Stories tell of their ability to navigate not just physical space, but temporal currents, weaving complex schemes that protect Aeldari interests while maintaining cosmic balance. Their actions blur the line between myth and reality, often appearing simultaneously in multiple locations across vast distances. Among the darker figures in Aeldari mythology, Yggdrasil the Deceiver emerges as a cautionary example of power misused. Originally a gifted seer whose prophecies helped guide their people through countless challenges, Yggdrasil's gradual corruption serves as a warning about the dangers of overreaching. Their eventual fall and transformation into a being of pure malevolence demonstrates how even the most noble intentions can lead to catastrophic outcomes when unchecked by wisdom or restraint. The mythological partnership between Moriheg and Val reveals intricate dynamics of divine collaboration and competition. Their combined efforts to forge weapons of power while maintaining cosmic balance exemplify the delicate interplay between creation and destruction. The artifacts they produce together, including the mysterious Spear of Twilight, continue to influence events in the material realm. Kalain the Shadow Dancer represents an intriguing fusion of artistic and martial traditions. Legends describe their ability to weave battle into performance, creating deadly choreographies that blur the distinction between dance and combat. Their techniques, preserved through generations of Harlequin performers, demonstrate how art can serve as both weapon and shield in the eternal struggle for survival. The tragic figure of Iliathan embodies sacrifice and redemption in Aeldari mythology. Born during a time of great upheaval, their journey from celebrated artist to warrior prophet illustrates the transformative power of necessity. Their final act, using their own life force to seal a breach in reality, demonstrates the extraordinary measures sometimes required for species preservation. Chronicles speak of Nyxos the Dreamweaver, whose mastery over psychic energies enabled unprecedented feats of creation. Their ability to manifest physical forms from pure thought revolutionized understanding of reality's malleable nature. The legacy of their techniques continues through modern bone-singing practices, though many of their more exotic achievements remain impossible to replicate. The mysterious entity known as the Midnight Harbinger occupies a unique position in Aeldari mythology. Neither fully hero nor villain, this figure appears throughout history at crucial moments, delivering warnings or insights that alter the course of events. Their true nature remains debated, with some suggesting they represent a collective consciousness rather than an individual being. Yvraine's emergence as a modern mythological figure demonstrates how ancient patterns continue influencing contemporary events. Their role in awakening Enid adds new dimensions to traditional narratives about death and rebirth, while their actions reshape understanding of prophetic interpretation and divine manifestation. The legendary artificer Morvael exemplifies the height of Aeldari achievement in combining technological and spiritual mastery. Their creations, including the fabled Prism of Eternal Light, demonstrate sophisticated understanding of how material and immaterial forces interact. Many of their innovations remain relevant to modern craft world technology, though some aspects prove impossible to replicate with diminished capabilities. Among the more enigmatic figures, the Twilight Oracle represents an interesting case of mythological evolution. Originally appearing in ancient texts as a minor prophetic entity, their significance grew as predictions attributed to them proved increasingly accurate. Modern interpretations suggest they might represent a collective consciousness rather than an individual, explaining their continued relevance across vast time periods. The warrior poet Lysander embodies the Aeldari ideal of balanced excellence. Their achievements in both martial and artistic realms set standards that influence contemporary practices. Stories of their exploits demonstrate how creative and destructive impulses can be channeled productively when properly understood and controlled. The controversial figure of Mirai Syndra challenges traditional narratives about loyalty and betrayal. Initially celebrated as a hero for their role in preserving ancient knowledge, later revelations about their methods sparked intense debate about ends justifying means. Their legacy continues influencing discussions about ethical boundaries in pursuit of species survival. Tales of the Phoenix Twins, Astra and Lumina, showcase the complexity of familial bonds in Aeldari mythology. Their complementary abilities, one controlling light, the other darkness, demonstrate how apparent opposites can work together harmoniously. Their combined achievements include creation of techniques still used by modern aspect warriors. The mysterious Chronarch represents one of the most enigmatic figures in Aeldari mythology. Their mastery over temporal energies enabled remarkable feats, though many details remain unclear due to the nature of their work. Stories suggest they could observe multiple potential futures simultaneously, helping guide their people through particularly challenging periods. Deep within the Black Library lies a collection of crystalline tablets known as the Enigma Resplendent, their surfaces covered in shifting runes that rearrange themselves according to patterns no scholar has fully deciphered. These artifacts, predating even the earliest known Aeldari records, suggest layers of mythological knowledge that remain inaccessible to modern interpretation. Some theorize these tablets contain information about alternative paths of development for the species, while others believe they hold the keys to understanding fundamental forces of the universe. The phenomenon known as the Whispers of Forgotten Gods manifests in certain regions of the webway, where echoes of unknown deities seem to resonate through the crystalline passages. These entities, neither part of the recognized pantheon nor clearly identified as chaos forces, represent a profound mystery in Aeldari mythology. Their nature and potential influence on historical events remain subjects of intense debate among scholars and seers alike. Prophecies speak of the Seventh Path, a mysterious alternative to the established aspects of Aeldari society. References to this concept appear throughout various mythological texts, but always in fragmentary or contradictory forms. Some interpreters suggest it represents a potential future evolution of the species, while others view it as a metaphor for transcendence beyond current limitations. The Labyrinth of Lost Souls presents another enduring enigma. This supposedly physical location, mentioned in various mythological accounts, defies consistent description or location. Reports from different eras place it simultaneously in multiple regions of space, suggesting either a network of connected sites or a single location that shifts through space-time according to unknown principles. Ancient texts reference the Prismatic Concordat, an agreement supposedly struck between various mythological entities regarding the fundamental nature of reality. The terms of this agreement remain unclear, but its effects apparently continue influencing cosmic events. Some scholars suggest understanding this concordat could provide insights into manipulating fundamental forces of the universe. The mysterious nexus points described in certain prophetic texts represent locations where multiple strands of fate converge with unusual intensity. These sites allegedly allow for extraordinary manifestations of psychic power, but prove impossible to deliberately locate or access. Their appearance seems tied to significant historical events, though the exact nature of this connection remains unclear. Legends speak of the Mirror of Infinite Reflections, an artifact capable of revealing multiple possible futures simultaneously. Unlike conventional divination tools, this device supposedly shows outcomes across different timelines, including those that conventional wisdom suggests impossible. Its current location remains unknown, though various factions actively seek information about its whereabouts. The concept of shadow songs appears repeatedly in ancient texts, describing musical performances capable of altering reality in profound ways. Unlike conventional psychic techniques or technological applications, these performances supposedly accessed fundamental patterns underlying existence itself. Modern attempts to recreate these effects produce interesting but significantly limited results. Reports persist of the Phantom Craft World, a mysterious vessel that appears during times of great crisis only to vanish again without trace. Unlike conventional space hulks or lost craft worlds, this entity seems to manifest according to specific mythological patterns. Its appearances correlate with significant historical events, though its actual role remains unclear. The phenomenon known as the crystalline resonance manifests in certain regions of space, where psychic energies interact with physical matter in unusual ways. These manifestations seem connected to ancient Aeldari rituals, though modern practitioners cannot replicate the effects described in historical accounts. Some theorize these phenomena represent echoes of lost technologies or forgotten psychic techniques. Ancient texts reference the Council of Shadows, a mysterious organization that supposedly operated during crucial periods of Aeldari history. Unlike conventional governing bodies, this group apparently influenced events through manipulation of mythological forces rather than direct intervention. Their actual composition and methods remain subjects of speculation. The concept of time wells appears in various mythological accounts, describing locations where temporal energies pool in unusual ways. Unlike conventional time distortions or warp phenomena, these sites supposedly allow for controlled manipulation of causality. Modern investigations reveal unusual temporal phenomena in certain locations but cannot replicate effects described in ancient texts. Legends persist of the Symphony of Souls, a complex psychic phenomenon that supposedly allows communication with all Aeldari spirits simultaneously. Unlike conventional infinity circuit interactions, this effect allegedly transcends normal limitations of time and space. Modern attempts to achieve similar effects produce interesting but significantly limited results. The mysterious gates of twilight, referenced in various prophetic texts, supposedly connect different regions of reality through methods distinct from conventional webway technology. Their operation apparently involves principles that bridge physical and metaphysical domains in ways modern science cannot explain. Some theorize these structures might offer alternatives to traditional methods of interstellar travel. Ancient records mention the Codex of Impossible Colors, a text containing information about aspects of reality beyond normal perception. Unlike conventional descriptions of psychic phenomena, this work supposedly details fundamental properties of existence that defy current understanding. Its contents remain largely unknown, though fragments suggest revolutionary insights into the nature of consciousness and reality. The legacy of Aeldari mythology extends far beyond simple cultural preservation, fundamentally shaping galactic events in ways that continue to reverberate through time. Prophetic geometries encoded within their most ancient legends have begun manifesting in unexpected ways, as cosmic alignments trigger long-dormant patterns within the fabric of reality. These manifestations suggest their mythological understanding transcends conventional boundaries between past, present, and future. The influence of Aeldari mythological principles on the material universe proves increasingly significant as reality itself grows more unstable. Their sophisticated grasp of fundamental cosmic forces, preserved through elaborate metaphorical frameworks, offers insights into managing the growing instability of physical laws. Various factions across the galaxy have begun studying these principles, seeking ways to stabilize their own regions of space. Contemporary events increasingly mirror patterns described in ancient Aeldari prophecies, suggesting deeper connections between mythological narratives and cosmic destiny than previously recognized. The emergence of new threats and opportunities often corresponds with specific mythological cycles, allowing those versed in these traditions to anticipate and influence developing situations. This predictive aspect demonstrates practical applications beyond mere cultural significance. The relationship between Aeldari mythology and warp phenomena reveals increasingly complex dimensions as the barrier between reality and the immaterium continues weakening. Their mythological frameworks provide sophisticated methods for understanding and manipulating these interactions, offering potential solutions to challenges posed by increasing warp instability. This practical application of ancient wisdom gains relevance as conventional approaches prove inadequate. Integration of mythological principles into technological development yields increasingly sophisticated results as understanding of fundamental forces improves. New applications of traditional concepts emerge regularly, producing innovations that bridge conventional divisions between scientific and spiritual domains. These developments suggest potential paths forward for addressing various challenges facing different species. The role of Aeldari mythological traditions in shaping future events becomes more apparent as various prophecies begin manifesting in unexpected ways. Traditional interpretations evolve to accommodate new circumstances while maintaining essential principles that have proven valuable through millennia of application. This dynamic interaction between ancient wisdom and contemporary challenges demonstrates ongoing relevance of their mythological heritage. The impact of their mythological understanding on psychic disciplines continues expanding as practitioners discover new applications for traditional principles. Advanced techniques emerging from this synthesis demonstrate effectiveness in addressing challenges posed by increasing warp turbulence. These developments suggest potential paths forward for managing psychic phenomena in an increasingly unstable universe. Archaeological discoveries increasingly validate aspects of Aeldari mythology previously dismissed as mere allegory. Ancient sites yield artifacts that demonstrate practical applications of principles preserved through their mythological traditions. These findings provide tangible evidence supporting sophisticated understanding encoded within their legends and prophecies. The influence of Aeldari mythological principles on various species development becomes more apparent as different cultures encounter challenges similar to those described in ancient legends. Their sophisticated frameworks for understanding cosmic forces offer insights valuable to many developing civilizations. This broader impact demonstrates universal relevance of principles preserved through their cultural traditions. Emerging patterns in galactic events increasingly align with cycles described in Aeldari mythological traditions, suggesting deeper connections between their ancient understanding and fundamental cosmic forces. These correlations provide valuable insights for those attempting to navigate increasingly complex challenges facing various species. The practical value of their mythological frameworks gains recognition among diverse populations. The role of Aeldari mythology in preserving sophisticated understanding of reality's fundamental nature becomes clearer as conventional scientific approaches encounter limitations. Their metaphorical frameworks often provide insights into managing phenomena that defy traditional analysis. This practical application of ancient wisdom gains importance as reality itself becomes increasingly unstable. The impact of their mythological traditions on various aspects of existence continues expanding as new applications emerge for principles preserved through their legends. These developments demonstrate ongoing relevance of ancient wisdom in addressing contemporary challenges. The dynamic nature of their mythological framework allows adaptation to changing circumstances while maintaining essential insights. Archaeological evidence increasingly supports sophisticated understanding encoded within Aeldari mythological traditions. Discoveries of ancient sites and artifacts demonstrate practical applications of principles preserved through their cultural heritage. These findings validate complex insights embedded within their legendary traditions. The influence of Aeldari mythology on galactic development continues growing as various species encounter challenges similar to those described in ancient legends. Their sophisticated frameworks for understanding cosmic forces provide valuable insights for managing contemporary problems. This broader impact demonstrates universal relevance of principles preserved through their cultural traditions. As the universe faces increasingly complex challenges, the wisdom preserved through Aeldari mythology gains new significance. Their sophisticated understanding of fundamental forces, encoded within elaborate metaphorical frameworks, offers potential solutions to problems facing various species. This practical application of ancient knowledge demonstrates ongoing relevance of their mythological heritage in shaping the future of the galaxy.